Welcome, Faith Family. This is a Walk with God show with me, Miranda and Pedu, being your host for today. If you were watching with us on our previous episode, we promised you to bring a part two of our special edition on how the church influenced the youth on our walk with God. So I'm here with my same panelists from our last episode. So without wasting much time, we will dive right into the show. So I would like to know, Kofi, how important is mentorship in the church to you?
Well, mentorship is very important to me because as a child, my parents put me inside me and my sister. My parents put all the children in the church. They made us very involved. They all separated us, not separated us, but put us in certain positions
Mm-hmm.
to where we can work and do things in the church. And in the music ministry, I've been there for almost how long? I don't know, since I've joined Upper Room. And one mentor that I certainly have is Director Joshua. He's
Mm-hmm.
definitely been teaching me over the years and doing so many things that have been teaching me, I value those lessons. So I feel as though it is important for each person in the youth to find a group or a belonging. Like some people do music, some
Mm-hmm.
people media, evangelism team. You can find somebody in that
The
group,
ushering.
yes,
Yeah.
to learn from and grow in the spirit along with your craft.
Okay. Thank you. Jude.
Okay, so mentorship is very important. Because a verse that I mentioned on the show before is that like, when if you raise your child like in the faith, then they won't turn back from it. So like, if you mentor your children, especially many of like the youth and the young minds, if you continue to mentor them, like they won't turn back. And like as Kofi gave examples, I want to like say some of the mentors that I have because like for example, Brother Seth, Pastor Kumi, and Nana Koja, they're all been amazing mentors to me, especially my parents as well, because they've been helping me to grow in the faith
Mm.
and like to like be strong for God and be on fire for Him.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Jude, for your response. So, Helena, how important is mentorship in the church to you?
Mentorship is very important.
Mm.
Looking at how we are forced to have mentorship in schools, same
Mm-hmm.
way it is very important to have mentors in church. So mentorship is very important in the house of God because there are so many people who are more mature in their Christian life, so many people who have experienced a lot with their walk in God that is worth sharing. And so if you have such people close to you, you get to know more of God and you get to grow. But personally, I'm very careful the people that I look up to. Same way, I'm very selective when it comes to friends. I'm very selective when it comes to people
Mm.
that I look up to. I don't want to look up to someone who probably come to church today and not show up tomorrow, or someone who just like talk anyhow, or someone who I don't see his or her involvement in the church in the things of God much. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to mentorship, I think that people should be very, very picky about who you look up to.
Mm.
Because same way people can influence our life positively, they can also influence our lives negatively. The first person that you should look up to as a mentor in the church is God Himself.
Mm.
Is God Himself, and also find someone who is more prayerful than you are, someone who has grown like more in depth in the Bible that can help you also, like get to know more of the Bible and more of the things of God. Doesn't have to be elderly because some people are naturally like knowledgeable and gifted with a gift of wisdom and knowledge. So it might be like a little boy or a little girl that's way older than you,
Mm.
but is more knowledgeable than you are. So don't look at yourself like, oh, I'm too big to be mentored by this little boy.
That's true.
Right. So just when it comes to choosing a mentor, don't put a price on yourself. Like just humble yourself to go with someone that you see has a vision, someone is more purposeful, someone can influence your life in a better way.
Yep. So I yes, I can relate to that because I have some people of my age group as their mentors, like the way they serve God or how they're more involved in God. Like I look up to them, but sometimes I don't even tell them, But yeah, that's definitely a good point.
And let me add this,
Mm-hmm.
it takes humility to
Mm.
be mentored by someone.
Mm.
It takes humility Because if you are proud, nobody will want to waste his time on you
That's
to
true.
like teach you anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you humble yourself, then you get someone who sees the wrong in you and will dedicate his time to help you get better.
Mm.
Mm.
Wow. It takes humility. So, can you guys tell me more? Is it difficult or easy for today's youth to maintain a healthy relationship with God? Kofi.
I feel as though it's getting harder and harder
Mm.
for youth to maintain a relationship with God because it's not a trend to go to church. It's not a trend, even though like there are some youth that genuinely enjoy being in
Mm-hmm.
the presence of God, and invite their friends. Other people will be like, oh, he's a Bible thumper. He's always talking about God, and some people just aren't fond of that. Some people are even bored in church and they don't like being there.
Just like Kobe said, it's getting really hard looking at how the Bible is taken away from schools, that they don't teach the Bible anymore in schools, which is getting really hard for me to get more close to God. There are so many things that is being hindrance to we the youth building up a relationship with God. First with friends, family, because some family members tends to be hindrances to our
Mm-hmm.
relationship with God,
That's
and
true.
ourselves as well.
Mm.
Allowing ourselves to get that close to God is also a problem. Some of the things that we fancy, some of the things that we desire, like the trends that we mentioned in the previous episode, some of those things kind of like take us back, that we tend to minimize our relationship with God.
Mm. All right, thank you very much, Helena. How about you, Jude? Do you think that today's youth is having a hard time or an easy time building a healthy relationship with God?
So as Kofi and Helena said, it's definitely getting harder to like get closer and strengthen our relationship to God, especially with how like the world is turning.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many temptations because even like if you're zealous for God and stuff like that, as like a young Christian, there are many like influences, and as we like discussed in our previous episode with peer pressure, like people are always gonna like try to make you do things that you want and kind of veer you away from God, which is why we also need to surround ourselves with better people.
Mm. Okay.
And this takes us back to the mentorship we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you surround yourself with people that are more closer to God and mature, they will help you grow more of a better relationship with God.
So don't you think now that we have access to phones and the internet like Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, there are like mentors out there who can also help us like make this journey easier for us, because we have musicians that we look up to. People go off live Instagram. We know some pastors on there. So don't you think that can also help make it easier for us, and that we are the ones that are pulling ourselves back?
Right. There are a lot of resources that are giving us the platform to get more closer to God. That is,
Mm,
and it comes up to, I always say, who you are.
mm,
Who you are, because somebody will spend like 2 hours being on Instagram when there is, let's say, a prayer session on like the same Instagram that she will ignore the prayer session and just scroll through
scroll
some
through.
comedians videos and watch
Right.
it, right? So it's the things that you desire after
Mm,
that will determine the things that you go after or you spend your time on. And so if you fancy, watching Cardi B twerk than watching a pastor preach,
Preach.
then I mean, you obviously go for Cardi B twerking, right? But
Mm,
if your more focus is me listening to the word of God, then obviously you ignore Cardi B for the word of God.
yeah.
I feel as though the devil is very smart. He knows that once people find things
Mm-hmm.
that can be used to benefit and to glorify the kingdom of God,
Mm-hmm.
he'll use it to like, switch it around. Because now even the young children know how to operate these iPads and things.
That's right.
Even when I was their age, I didn't know how to work
Right.
those. But
Yeah.
now even at the age of 3 or 4, they can learn to go on YouTube and watch anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the devil starts off with these certain vices. Like they'll go and watch one thing, and then they'll click the next thing, and they're already deep in sin.
Mm.
So like something that my dad always says is that like your phone is not anything bad, but it depends on how you use it.
Right.
So for an example, like obviously like with the way our world is today, if you were like to put the Bible on your phone opposed to someone like putting Netflix of your favorite show, so most definitely most people are gonna choose their favorite show on Netflix. So yeah, it depends on the way you use your phone. How Auntie gave the example with Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
If you use your phone to go and listen to preachings and read the Bible, most definitely do that because your phone is a resource. You shouldn't like give in to all the worldly desires and stuff that are on the phone because the internet can be both a good thing and a bad thing, but it depends on who you are.
Right, it's true. Like what Kofi said, there was a day that I was on the phone with him. I'm like, I need to sleep. I don't wake up early, so I can like learn before like my parents wake up and people start making noise and stuff like that. After I took a shower, I was just like laying on the bed and I went on Facebook.
Oh no.
That was like around 10. I ended up sleeping at 3 a.m. I was
Wow.
on Facebook. When I realized it, I felt
I
like
know.
myself.
Yes,
What
I
did I
know.
do?
What did I
3
do?
a.m. and I'm still watching this.
Wasted
So
time.
as when the moment we start, we tend to forget ourselves that I'm drifting away,
Mm-hmm.
and that is very serious.
Yeah. Okay. So it's half and half, right? If you want it to be easy, I feel like if you want it to be easy for you, it can because there are people out there that we can look up to who will help us, maintain a healthy relationship with God. Even our local churches, if we engage ourselves in the activities that goes on, we'll be able to, stand out and build a relationship with God because it is really necessary. Trust me on that. Okay, so I would like to know how can our church leaders and fellow mature Christians, what can they do to help us or help other youth in their walk with God? Jude.
So what the leaders and fellow mature Christians can do is to like reach out to the people of the church because we should never be afraid to reach out to the leaders ourselves. But what they should do is because as the church is a place where we can all connect, they should be able to reach out to us and mentor us because actually I was talking about Brother Seth. Brother Seth was the one who actually approached me and said he wanted to mentor me and he has really helped me in like my walk with Christ. So I really appreciate that.
Wow.
I feel as though when you're young is when you're best able to obtain information
Okay.
because when I met Pastor Mark, I was very young, and I can see like many people have even told me like the way that he does things, he can they can see that he's taught me a lot because even from watching him, I've learned that in certain situations this is the way you're supposed to act.
Right.
Like certain situations, this is what you do. So even that in the church, they can help us, with a prayer pattern and things like that. Because what someone has been doing for 30 years, as a new Christian, it can even help you, praying
Right.
this times, when you're free or praying on these certain topics. This pattern is what helps. That's what the church leaders can do.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we the youth need more of the church leaders because at times we get scared approaching pastors, and pastors have a lot on their head, or of mind. Let's think of a pastor pastoring a congregation of let's say 500 people, and everybody coming to him with their problems.
Yeah.
This person died, this person is sick, ask for this person and stuff like that. It gets crazy. So we need the involvement of the church leaders, people we can trust, people that we can fall back on when we need the help of the pastor. So if you are a church leader and you are not active, obviously you are not helping.
Right.
Right. And some people just want to get the position for the position's sake, but they don't want to do the work. If you are elected or appointed as a church leader, you should be available when members need you. Because I've been to like a couple of churches and some people you obviously be there for like let's say 3 or 4 weeks before you realize this person is a church leader. You never get to know them, you never see their involvement. And so these are one of the people that we look up to when it comes to mentorship. We look up to them as well. So if we see their involvement, if we see their dedication, then we can also approach them with our problems and our concerns.
Okay.
But you don't mind me adding on, Auntie gave a really good point about like how some people are just there to be there, like they're just there for the clout and the fame. that like I'm in that position.
Yeah.
But like they don't want to be they don't want to put in the work to actually help people. They're just doing it just to be honored.
So personally, what do you what do you think a church leader or matured Christians can do to personally help you on your journey or your walk with God?
Lead a good example for me to follow.
Mm.
That's for me.
How about you, Kofi?
We definitely talked on mentorship. I feel as though a lot of wisdom that our elders have and our church leaders have are going to waste because the youth aren't susceptible to listening. They're not willing to listen to the intelligence or the knowledge or the wisdom that an elder has. So I feel as though like once they're headstrong in teaching, maybe you get a couple that will actually listen.
Okay.
So like something an old mentor of mine told me before is that if you want to be able to lead someone or mentor someone else, you need to start with yourself. It starts from the individual. So like Auntie said, their actions and like the way they present themselves, that shows how that they're able that's how you know that they're a good reliable leader. Like if they have themselves figured out, then they can therefore help others.
Wow. So do you have any final words to your youth out there or even our church leaders? Any final words to say to them?
I would say that as youth, I know it's been very hard keeping up with our walk with God. There are so many things that is distracting us, so many things that is taking away our joy and desire of being in the house of God. But I just want to say there's more benefits in being in the house of God. There are so many things that we fancy now. They will obviously pass away, but Christ still stands. He's still the ultimate goal. And so we plead with the churches to help us, to support us, even when we go wrong, even when we stay stubborn and we don't listen to them. They shouldn't give up on us. They should continue to support us, pray with us, and encourage us to stand still and continue the good work that Christ left for us.
Okay.
Something I like to say to youth and to like everybody, like never ever give in to like the things of the world, because all these like temporary things that are going on in the world, it cannot compare to the everlasting life that you receive in heaven. So stay headstrong and keep on pushing forward.
Okay. Any last words, Kofi?
I feel as though like what Sister Helena said about the way that we talk to one another. But though as a mentor, I'm giving you a respect as my mentor. So even as a mentee, I deserve the same respect that like I should be heard, share ideas if they're wrong. You correct me a certain way, not to just bash my ideas and call them foolish or anything like that. But definitely teach a man the way like he should be.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here with me today, my guest. I really appreciate your presence here. I enjoyed this discussion. This has been a Walk with God show with me, Miranda and Pedu, being your host for today. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and also our Instagram page. Also, don't forget to share this if you were blessed to your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Like, comment, give us your thoughts and your opinion because they really matter to us. Thank you very much for watching and see you same time next week.
Your love is patient. You fill my heart with so much peace and joy. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh, Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. so much peace and joy. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh, Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh, yeah, Jesus, you love me, you love me, love me, love me, you love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, yeah. Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. You have done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. I just wanna say, Narikilimo. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still will be enough.